Hi everyone, this is Glenn. I just wanted to do a video on World War III, what I think, what I believe could happen. First of all, just a disclaimer, this is just my belief of what could happen. I've been studying a lot of dreams from Christians. I've been watching quite a few videos, and there tends to be some common threads through them. And so just kind of piecing it together. Um, so again, pure speculation. So, what I think is going to happen from piecing everything together is I think there's going to be a preemptive strike against the United States. And with this preemptive strike, I think it's going to be done by China. And I think it's going to be, now it could be a combination of China and Russia. Both are going to be against the United States. And I think it's going to be an EMP. So what they're going to do, it's going to be what I believe will be a two-pronged attack. Now, let me just give you an example. I'm kind of an armchair World War II buff. So in World War II, they had a new method of warfare. Germany did. A new method that all the other allies weren't up to par with. So they were, during the first bit, they were caught off guard with it, which is how Hitler gained so much ground in the beginning of it. And that was the Blitzkrieg, tank warfare. So what they would do is, instead of taking a long process of sending troops in first, what they would do is they would send tanks. And Blitzkrieg is lightning speed. So they would send in tanks quickly to overrun the enemy and take out any necessary, enemy machinery, any enemy tanks, that kind of thing. And then the troops would follow in afterward. And just to give an example of how effective this was, when Germany attacked Poland, the Polish army were coming at the German tanks with cavalry. So coming with horses to attack tanks. So there was quite a difference. And it worked very well at first because he caught them by surprise. And they came in, they entered the territory so fast, the enemy didn't have time to react. They didn't have time to organize. So back to Russia and China. What I think they're going to do is they're going to do an EMP simultaneous with cyber attack. So this is the modern World War III blitzkrieg. So they're going to do a cyber attack and they're going to do an EMP. Now, if you're not familiar with EMP, that is electromagnetic pulse. And what they do is they do a high altitude electromagnetic pulse into the atmosphere above the country that they plan on, that's their enemy attacking. So they shoot a nuclear missile above the country in the atmosphere. And this does not affect the people below, but it affects the circuits and the electronics, knocking them out, making them basically useless. Now, the US is not prepared for an EMP strike. An EMP strike, basically everything that we use is dependent on the grid. And an EMP strike would knock out the power grids. Well, I can still use my car. No, most cars have electronics, so you wouldn't be able to use your car, you wouldn't be able to use your phone, your computer, there'd be no internet, there'd be no heat, no electricity. It would basically knock out the entire power grid if it was done effectively. So I've been studying up on the EMPs as well. Now this corresponds with some dreams that Christians have been having, which is invasion. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to do the EMP, they're going to do the cyber attack simultaneously, so knock out most of the defenses, and then they're going to do an actual nuclear attack, and I think they're going to follow up with ground forces. Because I've had invasion dreams, many Christians have had invasion dreams. Again, this is all speculation. So when the EMP is done and the cyber attack and the whole grid is knocked out, then they're going to send they're going to do a nuclear strike, and then they're going to send ground forces. And many Christians are having these dreams. They're having dreams of Chinese and Russian troops on US soil. I watched one the other day, and it was this Christian was actually in the US Army, and in his dream they were fighting an invading force that had tanks that worked. I believe he said he was fighting the Russians, and they had tanks that worked, but the US on its own soil did not have tanks. So there they were fighting the tanks with, assault rifles, and the enemy had tanks. So with that, and he said at the end of the dream he saw a nuclear weapon coming down, and he was basically vaporized. So I definitely think World War III is going to happen. I don't know the timing. I would never say the timing of any of this. I have no idea. I have no idea the timing of the rapture. However, speaking of the rapture, I feel that basically when the bombs come down, we go up. That's my thoughts anyway. I think we will be around to see a few more things, but then I think we'll be pulled out of here. All the glory to Jesus. So this is coming, and you can see the writing on the wall. There's a lot of tensions between China and the U.S. I think China and Russia are gonna do a preemptive strike. They're gonna knock out the U.S. defenses. They're gonna nuke the U.S. and then they're gonna invade the U.S. And I know from the dreams that I've had of invasion is they're not taking prisoners. Like, they're killing anyone that is not Russian or Chinese. Like, they're just killing everyone. And if you haven't seen the video, I do have another video with my invasion dreams. There was a short time when I had just dream after dream, it seemed. And, I'd wake up and I'd be telling my wife that I had another invasion dream. So, but you can feel it in the air that something is coming, and it's not good. So if you haven't received Jesus yet, this is the time to receive Jesus. Confess that you are a sinner. Jesus was crucified. He shed his blood for us. He died. He was buried. And on the third day, he rose again according to the scriptures. So Jesus is alive and well. He had victory on the cross. Imagine, that is God shedding God's blood for us sinners. That's what Jesus did for us. It's amazing. So just keep in mind, you want to, today is the day of your salvation. You want to receive Jesus now, because you don't want to be in the tribulation period. Anyway, other than what the war and everything, there's also been a lot of Christians, and you take Christians who are just getting these dreams, but when you start to actually look at these dreams from different people, they line up. So there's Christians having dreams of tsunamis in the Pacific that's going to wipe out California, and in the Atlantic around the Gulf of Mexico, that is going to wipe out a lot of the East Coast. And from what I've seen, not personally, but from what I've seen from the Christian testimony, is that Florida is going to be completely wiped out from these tsunamis. So we are in crazy times, but do not fear. All the glory to God. He didn't give us a spirit of fear, and this is a very exciting time to be alive. And as one of my videos said, you were born for this. So are you witnessing to people? Are you telling them about Jesus? Because if you are a true believer and you're raptured, it's going to be too late to tell people about Jesus after that. You'll be gone. So start doing it now. Start warning them, because there's very horrific times ahead. But again, don't fear. Jesus is all we need. Jesus is the answer. Jesus is the truth. God bless you. Till the next video. Bye.